searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, but those eyes so bright.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another week of Scheananigans. I'm personally in for a treat today because I've got two of my favorite co-hosts in the house. We have from So Bad It's Good podcast, Mr. Ryan Bailey, and from her weekly show on Sirius XM, Reality Checked, my girl Kiki Monique. How we doing?
I'm great.
Really good. Really good. Yeah.
Was that convincing? Because I have to keep doing this.
Does that sound believable at all? It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as you saw, I'm thinking that it's easier to just get ready here because I now have a toddler who wants to help with mommy's makeup and is like, Mommy, can I do this for you? And so then she wants to put makeup on herself. And I'm like, you're not even 4 yet. Like, unless it's your dance recital, no.
Yeah.
And so this morning I was like, I'm just going to pack up my stuff, get ready at the studio. And right as I open my foundation, the stick drops all the way down me. So apologies if there's some spots on me. Someone thankfully here at Dear Media had a Tide stick. And Tide, if you want to sponsor this podcast, hit me up because I think it worked.
It did. No, I have never bought a Tide stick, and now I'm going to go buy one because I was like, oh, all the spots are actually gone.
And I've always kept one in Summer's diaper bag, but also now she's not in diapers. So that diaper bag and she's not here, know, so why would I have it? But I have this like spray and a Tide stick. I have all the things back when I would need it for a kid. And now I just take her and go. It's great though.
Well, now you need it for yourself because you have a kid, but you're an adult who's rushing.
Totally.
So you need it for yourself.
But it's not even just for you. You've inspired me to spill things on myself and get those out with the Tide stick.
Yeah.
I swear to God, this really is not an advertisement.
No,
you would think
now it feels like a full-blown advertisement.
It could be, though, Tide. It could be. Yeah. But no, I'm glad you guys are here this week. I feel like we have a lot to catch up on, both good and bad. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We had the finale. We're all watching Traitors, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. First, though, before we get into all of the fun stuff, it has been a very devastating past couple of weeks here for all of us in LA. Did you get evacuated?
Yeah, I got evacuated on Wednesday. I don't know what day or time. We're Tuesday right now, so 2 weeks ago, Wednesday.
Okay.
Because we live in Laurel Canyon,
right.
So it was really just. So didn't expect it. Very sudden, and then it was just a mad dash to throw a couple of things in, and that was wild.
Yeah.
We're not going to survive a zombie apocalypse. That was so crazy to try to get out of a canyon,
so
and
crazy.
then took 3 hours to get to like the 10 almost.
Yeah.
And people were like filming, and you saw the flames right behind the Magic Castle. And if the winds had been what they were the day before, it would have just been.
Gosh.
I truly, that was that one moment where I was like, oh, that is gone. You have to accept it.
Yeah.
I still don't think I've comprehended, but it's nothing like Altadena or the Palisades, but it's still something it's hard to comprehend.
No, totally. I have quite a few friends who have literally lost everything. I look at this beautiful artwork that I have in my living room, and the artist who created it lost her house in the Altadena fire.
God.
So I had posted for her this week, and I keep hearing about more people. Obviously, Heidi and Spencer. I mean, she was the first person I reached out to, and I'm like, you need a place, you need anything, like clothes, like whatever, like I got you. It's just like, it's crazy when you see it, especially for us in LA, like we're affected by it in so many different ways than people just watching it on the news from afar.
Yeah.
But then when you know someone personally, and then you know more people, and I saw high school friends who live in Pasadena, Altadena getting evacuated, and the amount of stories we've heard, it's just so much loss and so much devastation. It's just insane.
Yeah. Every person in LA knows at least one person who lost everything. And that is a crazy, astounding number.
But I was also thinking of like, then I was like, oh, what is this feeling? Oh, I'm getting similar vibes to the pandemic, those first couple of weeks. But the interesting thing is, us here, we have seen it or know somebody that have been visibly affected. Yeah. But everybody else out there, in the pandemic, we were all going through it as a country.
Yeah.
Here, people are seeing it through their social media or the news, and there's only so much you can I know they feel for us, and I know they do. They're wanting to help, but it's different than like the pandemic when we were all going through it. So you would see on social media, I wasn't. Like my sense of humor is almost just gone. And people could say that it's been gone for years, but like, you go on and you're like trying to think of a funny, stupid meme about a reality show, and you're like, I can't do it. And then you see other people, they're still able to do it. And that's like, of course, go do that thing. Like, that's no fault to yours, but it's just a different experience when you're more near, and like you can literally feel the suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Allie's birthday was the 13th, and it was about 5-6 days into the fires. But I was like, am I allowed to post for my friend's birthday? Like, I really struggled with, when is it time to also post other things, but I'm still posting resources. And I was like, you know what? Like, I also need to show support for my friend. And I had her over to the house, and Summer and her, oh my God, they're like two peas in a pod, just adorable with the cats and everything. And so I ended up posting at like 11 p.m. that night.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
But I will say, I actually got a positive response from that, because people were like, oh, Scheana's supporting Allie and like being there for her and on her birthday and stuff. So I was like, I was afraid to post. I didn't know which way it was going to go.
It's always weird, but I think it's important, like in the days following, you do have to keep living your life. The world can't stop. And like, as long as you're always acknowledging it, like as it continues and integrating it, like I'm going to talk about this, but then today I'm going to drive over to Altadena and drop off some stuff. And then,
Well, and also the thing I was talking about on my podcast, or, it's like, it's not just now. We're going to need help for the next year.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hot and heavy right now, but with anything, you get exhausted with just even seeing or hearing or talking about something. And we're going to need to have a little strength for next month, the month after, when we try to help people rebuild. And that's the Spencer and Heidi of it all. It's very fascinating because, I personally think it has been so positive just to get a spotlight on all of this.
Yes.
And Spencer and Heidi obviously lost everything, but it has also made it this weird pop culture story that is entertaining, that like ties all of us together and makes you think of like, man, this guy was these villains and now potentially heroes by losing everything. But then the pendulum potentially is going to swing the other way and people might start bad mouthing. It's going to be but I think it shines a spotlight on all of it.
I do too. And I will say, one of the things that I thought about you, because I saw, Brody Jenner, all of Spencer's friends were obviously posting Heidi's song.
Yeah.
And then obviously at one point, Spencer was like going to Hulu, like, get me a reality show. And everybody's like, get a reality show. And Brody had responded to it. And he said something like, because, remember they were the princes of Malibu, is how they started. And he's
Get
like,
David Foster in there.
He was kind of like, what about the dads of Malibu? And I was like, oh, he's coming for those Valley families. If that's a show.
That's a war. That would be amazing.
Right?
Just a Royal Rumble between reality show
Wait,
casts.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I loved that Heidi made it to #1 on iTunes. Like, that was so incredible.
All because of her husband. Like, I mean,
know.
Talk about relationship goals. Like, I want a husband that champions me like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it was so interesting, though, that dovetailing into this, 12-hour TikTok ban that we didn't know. Like, in the final moments, this is where I was like, we either live in a simulation or this is the apocalypse, because you had Spencer like fully had been posting for like the last 10 days nonstop, just crashing out potentially on live with Bethany Frankel, and then Alex Earl coming for Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy. And I just was like, what? What is going on?
I can't keep up.
And then there's like dragon heads being put on Bethany and cowboy mustaches because it's like TikTok live. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, obviously our hearts and thoughts go out to everyone who have been affected by this. And I'm also going to be posting links to resources in the description of this podcast. So I'm going to take a little break, reset. We're going to get into some pop culture things, and we'll be right back. Okay, so as many of you saw on Instagram recently, Brock, Summer, and I did a complete declutter, cleared out stuff from both garages and houses because we wanted to donate a bunch of stuff to all of the fire victims. But also just after the holidays, you have so much stuff everywhere that it does feel good to declutter. Whether you're tidying up, clearing out, or you just want some new looks to start the new year, Wayfair has everything you need, and it's all within your budget. I'm telling y'all, if you walked into my house, I look like a Wayfair commercial was shot here, because right when you walk in, I've got these 2 amazing chairs that spin. I've got an ottoman, a beautiful coffee table, artwork in the bathrooms, my bed. I mean, there's something in every room from Wayfair. And like I said, all within anyone's budget. Wayfair's huge selection of home items makes it easy to find exactly what's right for you and honestly exactly what you didn't know you needed. While I was looking for my bedroom, I found the perfect piece of artwork for my studio bathroom. So just looking on the website, you might realize that there are things there that you didn't even know you needed. There's something for every style, every home, no matter your space or budget. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your New Year's home goals. They have endless inspiration for every space and budget. Whether you need a light refresh or an organization overhaul, it's free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. And here's the best part, they'll even help you set it up. Give your home the refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. We've got something super exciting to talk about, and that is the premiere of HGTV's buzzy new series, The Flip Off. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. So here's the deal. Christina Hack and Tarek El Moussa, they were married. They're king and queen of flipping shows. Then, boom, divorce. Now, after 10 years of history and drama and new marriages, these exes are ready to face off to prove who's the best flipper around and flip off. It's Tarek and his new wife, Heather Ray El Moussa, against Christina. Their goal, to flip a house with the biggest payoff. This is HGTV at its absolute best. But it's not just about the flips. This series serves up the stunning transformations, competitive banter, and some deeply raw and at times uncomfortable personal moments. It's not all gloss and glamour. It's gritty, it's real, and totally captivating. We see Christina and her soon-to-be ex-hubby, Josh Hall, in a super intense exchange on their way to their flip. It's seriously awkward. Then Christina spills the tea to Tarek that her marriage to Josh is ending. This drama is real, but let's not forget the heart of the series, the transformations. Christina and Heather's design chops and eye for style really elevate this new series with high design that you don't see everywhere yet. Their mastery as real estate experts, flippers, and entrepreneurs is on full display. They've spent years honing their craft, and it shows. And did I mention the guest appearances? Each week, notable celebrities like Amanda Smith from Selling Sunset, Heather Dubrow from Real Housewives of Orange County, Tarek and Christina's moms, and the most surprising, Christina's second husband, Ant Onstead, will judge the competitions to determine the best weekly win. It's going to be epic. So, Ryan, obviously you were here, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, but we had that episode come out last week and you sound less nasally. How's the recovery been?
Great. I had 2 huge stents in my nose when I did this.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm not going to pass up this opportunity. But I was in pain. We had to stop and I was coughing for... that was Monday. Tuesday, they yanked them out and they roto-rooted all of my sinuses because I got sinus surgery. And it was I can breathe through both nostrils for the first time in my life. Yeah. And then that's when the fire started. So I wasn't supposed to leave.
No.
Well, we had to evacuate.
Breathe that.
Yeah, or breathe it. We had to evacuate, which was crazy. And I was just but then I've just been locked in a house. I go back to the doctor tomorrow. They're doing another roto-rooter thing. And then I should be on the road to recovery because it's just like a head cold right now.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's so much better having the stents out.
Good. How's your week been outside of all of this?
I mean, I feel like everything's a blur, but I think I'm having a good time. I don't know. It's me and my cats. We spend a lot of time together these days.
Yes.
Inside the house.
I know. I just got the air purifiers and all of that. And then, summer is in school. And I had messaged the school and I was like, so are we doing lunch indoors? Are we keeping the kids indoors? And they were like, look, we obviously have the kids' safety at, priority number 1. However, same as with COVID, the kids have to have some normalcy. And so they will be going outside and playing. And I'm like, okay, so there's nothing I can do about that. I can't just keep my kid locked up. But they're saying it could take 2 years to clear the air.
It's like, yes, we have to mask up. But the thing about LA is outside is our safe space. It's our other living room. And so not having access to it for that long would just be crazy. It's I'm going to try to mask up because I do notice I get headaches a lot easier when I'm outside too long. But
how do you explain this to Summer Moon? How do you tell her about do you explain fires and air?
So I did. I feel is a very smart child, obviously, but she's emotionally intelligent for her age. And so I had showed her some videos on Instagram of, places that were completely burned down. And I was explaining to her when we were going through her toys and her clothes, and she wanted to help. She was right there. She's like, Mom, you did that bin without me? Like, I want to help. And then she picked up, oh my God, this adorable ballerina unicorn. And she looks at it and it's like basically new from Palm Springs. And she goes, did I have this when I was 1? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, I'd like to give it to the kids. And I was just like, oh, my heart, like everything. She was like, I don't need this. Like, give it to the kids. And then Ocean came over and she was like, I'm giving my clothes. And there's kids who don't have underwear. And there's kids. And it was just like so
Oh my God,
sweet.
I thought you were about to say Ocean took the doll. It was like, that's my doll now.
But Ocean did say she wanted to take Summer's Cinderella doll to her house to play with. And Summer was like, I want that. I was like, no, honey. I was like, you're already giving away so much. I was like, Ocean's not taking your doll. Don't worry. No. She's like, I'm just going to take it to my house for a little bit. Then I'll bring it back. I was like, actually, you're not going to do that. We're going to play with it here. Okay. But as Ocean was saying, she was like, yeah, the people who lost their houses. And Summer goes, not their houses, their toys. And I go, no, honey. I said, some people lost their whole house. And she just looked at me like a new realization. I was like, remember when I was showing you? And she was like, oh. But she totally like understood. And then every time the watch duty app would go off, she's like, what is it? What is it? And she's like, can I see? Can I see? And I'm like, so here's where the fire is. Here's where we live. Like, we're still okay. But
I was playing that app like a video game.
I know.
Like, I was like,
right?
All of a sudden, I'm like an expert. I'm like, the red line is crossed over into this.
Yeah.
And the other thing with that is just like even adult toys of like when you have 30 minutes to decide what you're going to grab, which is so weird and your mind goes blank. I'm not obviously a fashion icon. So it's like, there's like, I'll replace my old Navy TikTok wardrobe.
Yeah.
So you just packed a couple things and I was like, I just grabbed something my mom gave me and then that was it. And I was like, wow. I always joke about this reality show museum that I had wanted to start. And I was like, oh, goodbye. Because I have like a Richella wristband from the
my God.
that Sandoval gave me. So I have this Richella. And I was like, you know what? Goodbye, Richella.
No,
goodbye,
gotta
Richella.
go.
My Kiki's Playhouse. I was like, Scheana's dress. Like I'm not her dress isn't going to make it into the bag.
Yeah, and that's what's so sad. I was like,
my vibrator did make it in the bag.
Absolutely.
That thing's irreplaceable. It was specifically built for Kiki. That thing withstands
It's
anything.
coming with me. Yeah.
It's going to survive fires. It's going to survive.
I did too. I packed up a box of stuff. I also have a vibrator in Palm Springs, so we were good.
Don't worry, hun. Got the Palm Springs one.
But as I was looking online and they were saying like, here's the 6 P's, and it was like plastic, prescriptions, like the things
Passport,
to make sure,
yeah.
Passport and all of that. And so I put all of that in a bin. I have my ballet slippers from when I was a toddler dipped in porcelain that my mom had my whole life. I had some of Summer's art projects, certain things from like family members who have passed on, letters from my grandma, all of that I put in a bin, took Summer, drove to Palm Springs. And I was like, I got there and I'm thankful and so blessed that I do have a wardrobe there as well. But I was like, oh my God, I didn't pack anything. Yeah. Like I just packed the important stuff. And so I was like, God forbid the worst happens, as long as the cats are safe, we're safe. I have my essentially irreplaceable things, then but it was crazy. Yeah. And so then this week, just trying to get back to some normalcy for Summer. She was back in school. We had tickets to see Wicked. And nice. I was like, oh, we're still going. I've got the Wicked nails. And
they made a musical based on the movie? Great. Amazing.
So I did not read the fine print and I just bought 3 tickets for us. We get there. Everyone's just saying how cute she looks. She's in her pink little dress. I'm in green. Brock's the wizard. We're walking up and the girl standing at the front, she goes, how old are you, sweetie? And Summer goes, 3.5. And I go, yeah, she likes to be exact. And she goes, well, the age limit's 5. And I go, no. Did she say 3.5? She's 5. And she goes, no, ma'am. And I just kept walking.
Oh my
and
God.
Brock was like, whoa, very impressed because rule follower Scheana.
Yeah.
I for a split second, I thought about and I was like, no, we're going in. Like, I'm not going to fight back getting this $1,100 back for these tickets because they'd probably just say, well, you didn't read the fine print. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. I'm also not Scheana Shea from Vanderpump Rules causing a scene at the Pantages. So I was like,
in the midst of a fire tragedy, Scheana.
We're going in.
Yeah.
Second person at the door as they scan our tickets. They go, and how old are you? I go, she's 5. And we just like walked in. And then she goes, why did you say I'm 5? And I just bent down and I go, It's not okay to tell a lie. However, mommy did not read the fine print. I know you're very excited for this show. Apparently you have to be 5. So today you're 5. And she was like, okay.
And also that sets her up for success because so many people in Hollywood lie about their
Everyone,
age. So
you
I think
know?
this is great.
Yeah.
But I was like, we are not disappointing my child. She has been indoors for 2 weeks. Like she just got back to school. She wants to see this show. She was so excited. She knows all the songs.
I could understand not having infants and newborns,
Totally.
but why, like a 3-year-old?
Is it just they consider it too adult for a 3-year-old?
I think maybe just kids, being fidgety or loud or whatever. But I'm like, she has the emotional state and mental capacity of a 5-year-old and the hair of a 5-year-old. Okay.
Yeah.
No one's going to question her.
And if
she's
she
5.
knows the lyrics to the song, I just think that should be the standard.
Yeah.
Like, if
Wait,
she knows how to sing the
What's
song.
the hair of a 5-year-old?
Her hair is so long.
Okay,
She
I was
has
like,
the longest hair in her class. Like it's abnormal for hair on a 3-year-old to be that long. Like really none of her other friends. I mean, their hair's even shorter than mine, most of her friends.
Interesting.
So when you see this kid with hair all the way down to her butt, you're probably not going to think she's only 3 also.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, no, she's 5.
and that's
she's
because
5.
she's taking Nurofen, which is a new sponsor here.
It's new truffle.
New truffle, sorry. Yeah.
But no, I think it's Brock's Polynesian mixed with my Mexican genes, and she's very blessed in the hair department.
I love that.
Yeah, we haven't trimmed it yet. We're going to do that soon because now it's gotten so long that it just is getting tangled. And she's like, ow, ow. And I'm like, suck it up. My mom did this to me. It builds a hard head and you'll be fine.
Wait, so when you breezed by the first girl, did she try to come out?
She was like, excuse me. And I kept going. I was like, I heard door 2. Door 2. Like I just beelined for it. And then I was like, okay, Summer, we are staying in our seat now. Like you're not going to the bathroom. But then right at intermission, she had to pee. And so I knew defying gravity, obviously. Then it goes to intermission. So right when she does her sound, that last line that I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
I stood up and I just ran straight to the bathroom. And
I
then
thought
was
you were going to get a big overlong, adult-sized trench coat and put it on Brock and just walk through the...
I didn't know what to do. I'm like, we're not leaving.
We're
That's
gonna
not
see
an
this
option.
play. Yeah.
So if she gets fidgety or if then we leave. But she made it through the whole show.
And you loved it, right?
It was
I loved
so
it.
good.
Did you do the backstage tour?
No, she probably needed to be 5 for that.
I should have hooked you up with my guy, but
Well,
no, it was so good.
And also, I don't think I thought about age because the 3 of us got invited to opening night for the PR night.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking that there was an age restriction because I've already been invited with my daughter who everyone knows isn't even 4 yet.
Yeah.
But I guess that was a special night. But we did it. She got through.
I love
and
it.
yeah, then we got home and watched the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City finale.
Oh my God.
Okay, I mean,
Equally as magical as Wicked.
these women know how to make TV.
They really do.
I'm going to need to go back and do a full watch from season 1 because this is the first season I've watched every episode of.
Oh.
The last 2 seasons I've not watched religiously, but I've gotten the reality Von Tease and the black eye and those big moments.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what happened the first 2-3 seasons fully? I need to go back.
Oh, you've got a treat coming.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I have some time on my hands right now. So
I think not only do they make good television, I also think they're really good about protecting what happens during the season because there aren't leaks like there are with other shows.
Yeah,
which
like
I
ours.
appreciate.
And the leaks that are there just turn out to be completely false, not coming from them.
Yeah.
So it is weird that it's visceral hatred with some of these ladies, but at the same time, they make such an amazing team together that they really do produce magic and they fully commit.
Totally.
They fully commit. And even in the only non-commitment of Lisa Barlow storming off, that's so just right on the money with her character and makes great television as well.
But that game they played at the end, how did Heather get these women to agree to this game? And was it Heather or was it production? How
I think
did
there's a
this
marriage
come
of
about?
both.
I think that,
there's-
Heather knows how to produce a good scene. And so I think she knows how to work with them and says, convinces them that this could be a good idea.
I mean, listen, at this point, I could sandwich her monologue from the end of season 4 and this soliloquy from this. I could audition with Juilliard with these 2 pieces. Because she'd be like, we are sisterhoods of ladies. Look at us, torn apart. All of us coming against each other when the enemy is still here. And I'm on every word. I'm like, the enemy's still here. What are we going to do? We're going to solve it tonight. We're going to solve it tonight?
Yeah.
How do we solve it tonight?
It was so Good. And for those of you who haven't caught up yet, I mean, you need to go watch it, but I'll just give you a little brief here. So last season on the reunion, Monica brings out the burn book and Heather was like, you know what? We all basically have burn books on our phones. So how about we all pull out our phone, search and find the meanest thing we've said about each other, then pass the phone to the person we said it about and have them read it out loud to the group.
It was so detailed. It was like there was like 10 steps to it where I was like, this is really detailed.
I mean, who thinks that's fun?
No, because I know some of the meanest texts I've sent about people. There's no way I would read that out loud in front of the person. No.
And that's where your production mind, after I watched it for the third time, it was like starting to like solidify of like, okay, obviously production said, we're hoping to do something like this. Be ready. And also somebody pointed out this to me, which I didn't think about the first time, was that these are probably texts written to the producers. So
I was
like these are
wondering
like those
too.
are text exchanges like, hey, how are you feeling about this person this season? And these are texts throughout the season to producers because that made a little more sense to me because Mary at first I felt like Mary had just like written something on a notes app and that wasn't a text at all. I don't know, but I just love that there is a little bit of mystery to that. I love that it vacillates between like highly fake and stylized and completely real because you can tell it hurts.
Yeah.
I don't think Angie's was. I think Angie really wrote that text message.
No, I believe they wrote it. I just believe they wrote it in a conversation to a producer.
Yeah.
But Angie's was like it was like, oh my God, I want her to host the Golden Globes next year. She is fantastic at jokes.
Yeah.
Also, was anyone talking about Angie's nipple that was fully out as she's standing up screaming? It was like Michelle last season on The Valley. When they have to blur it, she's in the hallway screaming. I'm like, the content was so good. I don't think anyone's talking about the nipple.
I know.
It was such a brief thing. And I mean, because that was right after the circle jerk moment.
Yeah.
And so I was still just all putting that was, but by the way, how an exposed nipple is now the least exciting thing about that because there's so many exciting things.
But we didn't, I will say in the uncensored version of Peacock, we still didn't get to see the full nipple.
No, you didn't.
They still blur it.
Yeah, still blurred.
You saw everybody's nipples on the uncut one, you know, which that uncut one, they added 17 minutes. But also that's a hats off to the editors because half of those moments you were like, oh, I totally see why you took this out for time, like to make it a more cohesive piece.
Yeah.
Like it really shout out to all those editors. That's the thing on Salt Lake. Everybody feels like they're working to their best, like the music that they pick, like the little cymbals or the dragon crash. Like it is so put together well.
That I don't even know if I recognize or realize this. Someone said that Britney's text messages was a clown like honk or something, clown horn every time her text message went off or something.
It's just a great piece of
That's
material.
Funny. I also had a friend tell me that apparently this is like a game that they have played before. It wasn't just a thing on Salt Lake. Like someone I know was like, oh yeah, I've played that game before. And I'm like,
has played
first
this
of all,
game?
don't play this game, people, unless you really want to cut some people out of your life.
Yeah, I mean, wait, now I knew.
Yeah.
Who's the friend?
You guys know him.
Elon?
He's the friend.
Oh, Mark's played this game?
Yeah.
I didn't even know this was a game.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem fun in any capacity.
Does this game have a title? Does it have a real life?
I mean, I don't know. But I thought, maybe we could play it. We can go to a break and then we can go through our phones and we could read mean things about each other. But before we do that, I want to know, because you said the circle jerk thing. Do we think?
No, I've never done that. I swear. People keep asking. It's never. I mean, I'm open, but I've never done it.
But do we think Whitney crossed a line?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I mean, it's fair game.
She was playing the game.
And she immediately said afterwards, like, I know it's not true. You just told me to read. Like, so she fully then, but Lisa had already was so activated, which that was the goal that Whitney wanted.
So you don't think she was trying to expose Lisa? You think she was just fair game? I'm just playing the game?
Because I believe that Whitney definitely said that to somebody. And so that was the game.
Yeah.
I could go on for an hour about this because I've been thinking about the Lisa John thing about John getting a handy from somebody. And I just can't picture it in any sort of realm. I don't know.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back. We're going to play the worst game ever.
Yeah, 2025 has been positive so far, so let's make it a little more little negative.
It could be fun. So the meanest texts, DMs that we've sent or said about each other, it could be fun. So we'll be right back.
Could be.
And with a new year comes a new opportunity to reimagine ourselves and, more importantly, our wardrobes. This year, I'm resolving to refresh my look and summer's look with quality pieces, and I want to stay on budget, okay? I can thank this all to Quince. So first off, I think everyone needs Quince's cozy Mongolian cashmere sweaters that are from $50 in their wardrobe. We have been shopping on Quince for summer since she was a baby. She's outgrown several things that we have passed down to her cousins. And I have to tell you, every time I get to go on the website and buy a bigger size of stuff, they have new things. They have amazing things. It's all so soft and she loves it all. However you choose to refresh your look this year, all Quince pieces are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And they're able to do that by partnering directly with top factories, cutting the cost of the middleman and passing the savings on to you. I mean, who doesn't love that? And there's no better workout motivation than some new active wear. That's what I'm getting right now. Their moisture wicking bras and leggings are designed to move with you during your workout, which is exactly what I need. And of course, they only use premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. Summer loves it. I love it. I've got stuff in my Valley home and Palm Springs because I need Quince wherever I live. Upgrade your closet this year without the upgraded price tag. Go to quince.com/honey for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/honey to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/honey. And while you're looking good, don't you also want to smell good? Because I know I do. And Lumi has so many different scents and products that are going to make you feeling like the best version of you. Lumi makes unique and different deodorants than anyone you've ever tried before because they have whole body deodorants. So it is safe to use anywhere on your body. I'm talking pits, underboob, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, down in your cookie, wherever you want, even including your feet. And it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. I started with the scent of toasted coconut. I swear it was like I was just a pina colada body. It smelled so good. But now I've tried the lavender sage and clean tangerine, equally as good. It just depends what you're in the mood for. And Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code GOODASGOLD for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code GOODASGOLD at LUMEDEODORANT.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. All right. So on the break, we wrote them out on a card, and now we're going to read them aloud to everyone. I mean, we know because we said it.
Well, this might be the last episode we all do together, so it was nice knowing you.
I mean, I thought 2025 was pretty much a wrap anyway, so this really, great.
I was
Good way to go out.
We could go through DMs, but it's not as funny when other people say it. It's more funny. It's not like we're not that mean about each other.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So Kiki said, Scheana's delusional if she thinks she could ever be a housewife. Bravo producers have seen her wardrobe. If they wanted to cast a 15-year-old boy, they'd call up Stassi's little brother.
See, that's well written. I will say the writing in that is really solid.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong.
I've got one from Scheana. Ryan should rename his podcast So Bad with Ryan Bailey because it's never good. First off, thank you for listening at some point. That's awesome. So that's not that bad.
Okay, yeah. I also think I said that around the time of the summer name fiasco.
Totally. That's good. That's good.
Okay, this one's from Ryan. Talk of shame. more like talk of fame whore, so desperate to be famous, she'd go to the opening of an envelope if she thought it would get her an IMDb credit. It's not wrong. I love IMDb credits. I do love being famous, trying to. So I'll accept it.
And by the way, I do consider Kiki famous. So okay. Wow, Ryan. Wow.
Yeah. All right, I got one from Ryan. The only reason so many people share their locations with Scheana is because they know she's too lazy to actually come find them. That's true.
You know what? I will say I've changed my opinion on that one, actually, because that was a little far back. I think you actually will go and find these people.
If I need to.
Yeah.
Not just like for funsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one from Kiki. Ryan moved to LA wanting to be an actor, but that clearly didn't work out. But you know what they say about those who can't do, they podcast. I agree with this.
Hey.
I agree with this. Wait.
I podcast.
I think also, let me take that a step further. I can't even do a reality show. Like I couldn't even be a star in a reality show.
That's not true.
I'm telling you.
Not yet. You don't know.
I wouldn't. But anyways, I thank you. I agree with that. That's
And look, I was
correct.
projecting because all my podcasts have been canceled. So what do I know? This one's from Scheana.
There's more. Okay.
Kiki won't reveal her actual age because she drank the potion from Death Becomes Her, and she's actually 71 years old.
That's a compliment.
It's true.
It's a compliment.
Wow.
I'm a boomer.
I mean, you never know.
Wow.
She looks like a porcelain doll.
I mean, yeah.
Is she 32 or is she 56? I don't know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know.
A youthful spirit. I mean, listen,
Totally.
I look at Kiki, I go, you can't get into Wicked. It's 5. You got to be 5. That's how I feel about that.
Oh, I felt so bad that that's how my daughter learned more what a lie is. And I was like, it's not okay, but today it is. And then I'm texting my mom and I was like, oh my God, guess what just happened? And she was like, well, you didn't tell her to lie, did you? And I'm like, actually, yes, I did, Erica. I did tell her to lie. When we were going to Disneyland and she was 2.5 going on 3 and she didn't have her pass yet. No, I was not going to make her lie and say that she was still 2 when she was already 3. But now Disney's doing this weird thing where they only release passes once a year. So in between her birthday, I was like, well, I'm going to take her to Disneyland. If they ask me, I'm not going to be the mom getting arrested. I would just say, oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 3. I'll go purchase a ticket and I would go get it. I'm not going to make her lie to get into Disneyland. Wicked, absolutely. You're 5.
Yeah, I never blamed my parents when they took me to the all-you-can-eat buffet and it said kids under 6 eat free, and she had to keep saying I was 6. I understood the assignment.
Totally. And my mom's done this before too. My sister was passing for a child under 12 for so long when we would go snowboarding because it was cheaper. Yeah. So I'm like, you guys have supported the lie when it comes to the age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to teach my daughter it's okay to lie, but for Wicked, it was.
Yeah.
It would be amazing if this becomes a TMZ headline. It would just truly be 2025.
I mean, that was my fear if I got heated with the employee.
Yeah.
So I was like,
because people are on the ready with their phones. They'll be like, oh my God, that's Scheana.
Mm-hmm.
And she's yelling at just this poor woman standing there just doing her job.
Yeah. I looked at Summer's little face and I was like, oh, no. Anyway. Okay. Speaking of lying, Traitors, the new season. I hate that I binged the first 3 right when they came out because then you got to wait a week and then you watch it on Thursday right when it comes out and then you got to wait a week.
Yep.
I'm like, do I take a couple weeks off so I can just binge it?
Because people will ruin it.
I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
But how are you guys liking this season?
I love it. I hate that Dorinda was the first to go.
I know.
That really made me mad.
But it shows the seriousness of the game. But
Mhm.
yes, I hate that Dorinda left because we saw a little taste of her being angry
Yeah.
from not
Mhm.
from being left on that dock. And I was like, there's so much of that to come potentially.
I loved when they had the realization, wait, they're going to think we're traitors because we're out here.
Exactly.
They were just trying to be good people.
Good
and
housewives. I'm going to jump on with my girl Dolo. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a little BTS tea from Derek. I've known him since he
From
won
Big
Brother. Yeah. And he told me that you didn't see it on the show, but after the episode aired, he's like, okay, Scheana, he's like, I have to tell you that I guess Tom was putting all of the coins in Derek's cage because when he saw him, Tom was like, wait, how do I know you? And Derek goes, Scheana. And he was like, oh, that's right. And so he gave all of his money to Derek just because Derek was my friend. So he was like, well, thank you for that. And I was like, I mean, you're welcome. But
wow, Sandoval still making amends to you.
I guess.
I love it. Look, I will, and I'm going to say
I know
this.
what she's about to say. I know exactly.
Sandoval on this season is doing good things. And I'm just saying I'm enjoying every moment, mostly because I need my foil and he is my foil.
Okay, yeah, exactly. This is why sometimes we're so insane as an audience. When he first got cast, I don't want to see this dude. I was like, trust me, this is going to be so perfect just for comedic entertainment on top of he will be a pawn in this game and not realize it. And it's coming exactly true. I'm sorry. He's treating it like a silent film actor. He's like, and like the one moment when he's like, then like Alec, they put the people in the coffins and Alan's like, go Tom, away with you. Do not linger. Because he really thinks somebody's dying. He's taking it so seriously. And then the last moment of this episode when Wes was like, talking to everybody and he's kind of caught on to Rob, like Boston Rob, what he's doing. He's like, how do you 100% know if you're a traitor? And Tom's like, you don't, dude. And he's like, no, you do. You do, dude. Yeah.
If you're a traitor.
Oh, dude. No. Like watching Tom's world get rocked every episode, that he's just like, it's amazing television.
Oh, it's so good. Do you think Boston Rob shot himself in the foot, though, by being like 100% I know?
Yeah, I think that people are going to catch on to Rob. But Rob is so tricky. They need to get him. Everyone knows.
Even if he was a faithful, I would get Rob out.
Oh, yeah. Of Rob
he's the best.
Immediately. Yeah, exactly. He wins every show he's on.
Well, coming in at the time he did, he was such an uphill battle already. But to be a traitor, so he's making these amazing moves. But I think too many people are now going to be on because the traitors themselves do not trust Boston Rob.
Right.
And now other people, Wes is really good at these things.
Wes is so good.
Yeah.
So I think he is done this episode unless they want to keep him around for like another. But at the same time, you don't know what moves this guy has, which makes the game exciting.
And here's what I want to say about Dylan. He is my pilot Pete of last season. I want them to recruit him.
Yes.
I think he'll say yes. But I was dying last season. I'm like, I wanted to know. And whenever, if I ever see Pilot Pete, I'm going to say, what would you have said? If they said you have to be a traitor or you're dead.
Yeah.
Like he would have done it,
yeah,
right?
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
But Dylan, I feel like, is like the faithful of faithfuls.
He is, but he would be a good turn. Like
I
if they
know.
turned
That
him.
would be a good move then, because then Boston Rob could use him against the other two traitors that want to get him out. Because in the trailer for this week, the traitors are saying, like, how do you get rid of a mafia boss? You got to be a silent assassin. So they're obviously gunning for Boston Rob, but we're like kind of savvy as an audience. So they're showing us what we want, what they want us to think. So maybe there is a move that saves Boston Rob.
And also, I wanted to say, I'm so glad to see Wes is on because he got cheated out of House of Villains. He should have absolutely won. That was BS. And I'm just saying, I love seeing him play because he's really good at these games.
He was on my show a couple months ago for House of Villains, and I was just so excited to talk to him. And this wasn't a thing, but I was like, dude, we got to get you on Traitors. We got to get you on the Traitors. And I was like, would you ever do the Traitors? And he was like, dude, they would never want me. And I was like, they don't want, they want. And that was like kind of set off my alarm bells because I'm like, why wouldn't they want you? And he's like, but no, I wouldn't do it. This is my thing. This is my thing. And he was so damn great in that lie, in that moment. It was just so good. So I'm really excited to see the moves he makes as a faithful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's so good. I want to know personally how long they were actually in the coffins for.
Yeah.
So I talked to Bergie, who was on season 2 of The Traitors, and he, in those situations, he thinks it's like around 90 minutes.
That
Hell
long?
no.
Because there's a whole crew of people and stuff like that. He said 90 minutes at most, but you have safety people there. You have 200 people working on this thing.
Yeah.
But they're getting shots. They're getting this and that. So at max 90 minutes, he was speculating.
That's too much.
Wow.
Okay, Scheana.
Yes.
Now, what if you got an offer at the very same time to be on Dancing with the Stars or be on Traitors?
Traitors.
Oh.
Traitors is my new Dancing with the Stars. I don't want to do Dancing with the Stars
Way to
anymore.
go, Dancing with the Stars.
No,
you just lost out.
I've just I feel like that time is coming past. You know, I wanted a Range Rover for so many years, and now I'm like, it's kind of coming past. Like Lala.
Are you playing hard to get right now? Is that what you're doing?
No. Lala said this the other day because we were talking about she just got a new SUV. I'm getting a new SUV, and she's like, so you're not doing the Range Rover? She goes, is Range Rover like your new Dancing with the Stars? I'm like, kind of is. I'm like, Now Traitors is the new dream. Genuinely.
I love that.
Yeah, like that wouldn't even be a question. I would do Traitors.
Okay.
What if Lala gets Dancing with the Stars? Is it now it's such a non-issue that you wouldn't care?
She wouldn't do it. I know, because she hates dancing and stuff like that. But I mean, if she did, I would be there front and center. Any of my friends, if they did it, I would still be there to support. I've been going to that show since Ian Ziering was on it, like season 3.
Oh, wow.
So I love still going and supporting, but I just felt like
I like that you use Ian Ziering as the reason, the Ian Ziering season.
That was where it started for me, going to the show. I knew him. We were friends and he invited me, and it was him and Cheryl Burke. And that was my introduction. I had watched it already, but being there, I was like, this would be so fun to be on one day.
Yeah.
And now I watch Traitors and I'm like, put me in.
Okay, so I didn't know if this would come up, but I was gonna make a meme, but I wasn't in the mood the last couple of weeks. But it was like my dream Traitor cast, and I put I put you,
okay,
because I also think it would be interesting. I think you would be very sad as a faithful when you had to make hard decisions, but it would be curious about how you would be as a traitor if you could survive. Trisha Paytas, I think, would be really interesting and bring something that people don't expect. Then this is kind of messy. I was going to do Craig Conover and Paige.
Ooh.
People that have been together and have to potentially work together at another. Flavor Flav, because NBC has a relationship with him now. George Santos, you need a political liar, but somebody that you can definitely dunk on.
Yes.
Nene Leakes, Heidi and Spencer. I think they might even be too big at this point to do Traitors at this. And then I wanted to see Jeff Lewis, Mary Cosby, Kathy Hilton, and Azalea Banks.
I love all of this.
That's a really good cast.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, if Traitors needs a casting director, Ryan Bailey's available.
No, but don't you all think, because the casting is kind of brilliant in its own way, because that might even be too exciting, because you need a couple like where I wasn't familiar with Dylan Efron, where you're like, what? But then you watch them and you start to really like them. And or even I wasn't familiar with Bob the Drag Queen.
Right.
And now I'm out there searching his podcasts and stuff like that because I'm a fan now.
Yeah. I agree. I'm obsessed. But
have you reached out to Sandoval about his performance on the Traitors thus far?
No, I haven't talked to him since I've been watching it. We haven't talked in a while. Yeah. No. But also, speaking of Sandoval, do they sit in the same place every round table? Because why is Chrishell always sitting by the person she hates?
Oh, I didn't actually pay attention to that. I
didn't pay attention, but I would imagine they do that because they do hate each other, so it's uncomfortable and builds tension.
Yeah, but I'm like, is everyone else sitting by the same people, or do they just keep putting the two of them by each other?
No, I don't know, because I noticed Wes his vote was for Nikki Bella, and they put them together. And Wes literally goes, hey, I'm coming for you tonight. This is what I think, and had to turn directly to her, which might be,
Yeah, because I think every round table they've been seated next to each other. I'm like, obviously, they tell you where to sit.
Producers go in thinking like, who do you think you want to vote tonight? So then they're like, okay, they're going to set it up before they get in there. And
Yeah.
But by the way, the two shows that I've loved the most this past week were Salt Lake and the Traitors. And those seem like Traitors, especially, it's like so produced in this beautiful way. It's like more than just a reality show or a reality competition series. Like everything comes together. And I feel similar about Salt Lake. It's just way trashier. But I mean that as a compliment.
How do you feel about Beverly Hills right now?
I'm loving it. I mean, I'm loving Dorit. I'm loving just like her new energy, bringing it. It's interesting that Erica Jane is now the mediator, the peacemaker.
Right?
Would you ever, just hang on, folks. Eventually the tides will turn. Like she's the shoulder to cry on now. People are like, it's wild.
What do you think about Kyle texting PK? A, did she break girl code? And B, I mean, clearly we've seen that it's not just memes and jokes. Like she outed herself when she read the text.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the point was she was trying to get.
Yeah, I don't understand what point she thought she was trying to make and then show something that proves her point is wrong.
The thing is, I think Kyle knows she's wrong, but I don't think Kyle likes to be wrong. And so in this moment, she's finding any reason to kind of being like, she found the one thing and she's just trying to hold it against me. And it's like, well, yeah, because like, this is wrong. You shouldn't be texting him. This is your girl. PK hasn't been a better friend to you than Dorit. Please come on. And like, just understand where she's coming from. But I think it's hard for her because I think Kyle likes to be right.
Well, and also, I mean, obviously the four of them had a friendship for so long and Kyle was friends with PK and I mean, Dorit, with Mo, but I guess the difference is, Dorit's not reaching out to Mo, whereas Kyle is reaching out to PK.
Yeah.
But also then it just the curiosity level of just like Salt Lake did with your phones. I don't want to see that text. Show me the memes. Just show
Right.
like even just from like a hysterical standpoint, show me the memes that even if there's conversation between, what kind of memes are you sending?
Yeah.
Are you
Right.
sending reality show memes? Are you sending memes about the world? Like what are the memes? What are your shared sense of humor? I think it would tell us so much and also be so ridiculous. Just show us that. Alex Baskin, if you're listening or watching, show us the memes.
Because I'm sure some of it's from Bravo accounts we know, and they would like to see their
That's
memes
right.
on.
Look at this meme making fun of Dorit and what a horrible bitch she is. Is it memes like that, or is it memes about like just life shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've obviously been the Kyle in this situation when it's like, well, I'm friends with both. And then you keep talking to the one, but then you got to have the girls back. And so I have empathy for Kyle in this situation because I don't think she means any harm. I think she's just innocently still talking to her friend, but now who happens to be her friend's ex, where it's like, where do you draw the line? He didn't cheat, right? Or, we don't know that he didn't, but I feel bad because I'm like, I don't think she's meaning any harm. It's just not hitting. And I'm like, girl, I've been there.
Look, I love Kyle. I hope, and it sounds like her and Dorit in real time are at least making moves towards maybe repairing that, which I hope. I do hope for that because I want them to be friends again.
I know, me too.
Yeah, I do. I mean, but at the same time, I didn't think I would go in. I didn't think going into this season that I would understand Dorit as much as I have. That I'm like, wow, she really, I really understand her argument.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is room that this can be like in no world do I think PK and Kyle are flirting or anything like that. I think it's in no world, but I think it can be fixed. But I am really, I don't know if impressed is the word, but it's refreshing to see Dorit actually show her real feelings and talk about real things.
Well,
and
the minute Dorit ripped on that Marlboro, I was like, okay, we can be friends.
Yeah.
This is, I get you now. I understand it.
With the fires, I don't want to keep seeing it in the car, but at the same time, that moment was so like, just burn it all down. And I love when they have nothing left to lose. And I don't know, it was like, there was rumors that she was given like, like, hey, you better bring it this season and you better really, I don't know if that's true or not, but if it was true, man, it worked. Like she is bringing it. And it just like that PK Dorit conversation of like back in the old days, that waitress, we would be fighting with each other back and forth. I'm like, why have we never seen that?
Right.
I would have loved to have seen a piece of that instead of the relationships you've shown us thus far.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, but it is nice to see another side of Dorit and her standing up for herself because especially when you've been friends with someone for so long and you usually are a little more submissive, it's not as easy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that too. I feel like I've been in that situation in a friendship as well. So it's good to see.
Are you friends with Dorit?
I mean, I know all of them, but
You
like
have Dorit's number?
I don't have her number.
Okay, because I was like, send her memes.
I know, right?
That's the way to get back at all this whole situation.
I mean, I've known Kyle so much longer. I've known Kyle since her first season on Housewives when I would serve her at Villa Blanca and she thought I looked like her daughter.
Do you have her location on your phone?
Which I don't have her location. We follow each other though. But let me tell you a funny story. So Kathy Hilton at that DirecTV party I saw you at, the one by the pool that Ariana was hosting. Kathy Hilton, I see her walking over to say hi to me and I'm like, oh, she finally remembers me. No, she thought I was Farrah.
Farrah. Yeah.
She walks over, she's like, hi, doll. And I go to give her a hug. She goes, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, you're fine. It's Scheana. She goes, I thought you were my niece. I thought you were Farrah. And I was, it's okay. We've gotten that for like 12 years. I get that a lot.
I thought you were Garcelle. Yeah.
I should have been so like, funny. I'm precious.
So funny.
But anyway, now that I'm thinking, the other moment of the Beverly Hills was Garcelle like slyly in a Chuck E. Cheese conversation saying, listen, we're all women. We've all raised people, daughters, da-da-da. If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. Like, I was like, whoa, just threw it out there. And that it was just kind of dropped. Like, it was moving on with the story. But I thought that was such an interesting little moment.
Yeah, but also, like, yes, be whoever you want to be with no judgment, and I feel like for Kyle, that's got to be hard. When you're getting out of a marriage of 27 years or however long they were together, you've got 4 kids, even though they are older, to kind of change that part of your identity, even if she wanted to. That's not an easy decision to make.
Well, and it sounds like their mom, Big Kath is, I think, her name. Like, it sounds like there was a lot of pressure to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And so I think she's going to have a hard time letting go of whoever she was raised to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Peacock will do it because of the relationship, but eventually there will be a 3-part docuseries somewhere about the Hilton clan, because the story is truly fascinating and is exactly what kind of pop culture consumers I think they would really love. I mean, it would probably be but the stories, everything from Paris to like back to Conrad to back in the day, it's so much.
Yeah. Well, speaking of stories, I know this isn't a surprise to you guys, but to everyone else, I wrote a book. Woo! So I know the last okay. The last 2 times, well, I maybe have even had you on since then, Kiki, but back in December, I had Kiki and MJ on when I was going to announce the book, and a fellow cast member was arrested around that same time, and it did not feel right to announce. Here she is.
Oh my God.
This has been like
I need to see this
my whole life.
cover.
I've been wanting to do this.
This is so cute.
Yeah.
I love the look on like on your face.
And I love
looking
this
in the
color
mirror.
pink. It's a good pink.
Thanks.
So cute and
Mhm.
glamorous.
You guys can pre-order at mygoodsidebook.com. And last time I had Ryan here.
Oh! Wait, is this real?
It's real. It's
My
all
Good
happening.
Side, a memoir, Scheana Shay. Oh my God. This is huge.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, I won the lottery.
Was supposed to be the book announcement. However, with all of the fires, I was like, obviously, I am not announcing this anytime soon. We're pushing it. But now we're doing it. I wrote a book. It is called My Good Side. It is now available at mygoodsidebook.com. I'm so excited.
I love it.
Yes, but I now can finally talk about this with the world. I'm so excited because it's been a journey just writing it, which I do talk about in the book, and announcing it. I mean, the last 6 weeks, there have been multiple times that we've been scheduled to announce, and I'm like, you guys, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. We got to hold it. But now, Friday, January 24th, it is my grandpa, rest in peace, is his birthday. I talk about my papa in this book, and it just felt like that's always been a special day to me. So announcing the book and having it available for pre-order at mygoodsidebook.com on January 24th was just, this is the day. So,
and does this book take us from like childhood Scheana all the way?
yes,
Okay.
literally from before birth, I talk about like how my mom and dad met up until you're getting like as recent as a month ago. Like I was just finishing writing this book in December. So
Okay.
I talk about the end of Vanderpump Rules. And I
Okay.
mean, everything in between. You get my little bit of my Hollywood.
Yeah, do we
Black
get you that? Yeah,
book.
do we get your Hollywood stories before you started Vanderpump
Mhm.
Rules?
Yes.
Okay, these are the ones I've been
Yeah,
waiting
that's
for.
the-
Yes. So I feel like this announcement too is kind of like the worst kept secret because I've seen so many things that keep leaking. So because the wheels were already in motion for the book to come out like first week of December, they had it on the Hachette website. They had like Google Books and it was on Amazon. It didn't have the photo yet. This is
Okay.
one thing that if you guys go to pre-order it today, which I hope you do, you might not even see the photo because I did not want the chance of this leaking since it was on the back end of all of these other websites. People found the full description, the day it's coming out, July 22nd. And there were so many details already. I was like, we cannot have a chance of the cover leaking.
Yeah.
So if the cover isn't there when people go to order it, this is what it looks like. But it was just starting to get out that we're like, okay, we have to announce now. And then the arrest happened. So I was like, no, beyond tone deaf. I'm not doing that. That this can wait. Then the holidays, then the fires. And I was just like, I can't keep pushing it because there is a deadline,
Yeah.
there is a release date, and people have to get orders in. So
But I will also say that's a very genuine thing from you because we had even texted briefly about it. Was
Yeah.
that you really did care about all of this stuff, and you were like,
Absolutely.
"This is not the time.
No.
This is not the time." But I do want to point out, this is a huge achievement. Like, we also do need good things. We can have good things in 2025 to be excited about and also try to deal with all of this other BS. But like, this is great.
Yeah, this is something I've literally wanted to do my entire life. Like, it has always been a dream of mine. I loved English class and journalism and all of that in school. I used to write for the school newspaper, and I was like, one day I'm going to write a book. So this has been a dream of mine that I also always said, one day when Vanderpump Rules is over, that's when I'll write my book. Not that it's necessarily a tell-all. Oh, there's a lot of tea in there. But I was like, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. And then a little over a year ago, my agents were like, but it is a long process to actually get the book out. So how about we just start meeting with some people and get the wheels turning and get the ball in motion? And I was like, okay, sure. And who would have known that Vanderpump Rules season 12 was getting rebooted? And now I have a book. I'm like, the timing couldn't have been better.
Could have been better.
Who are you the most nervous to have read this?
I don't want to name any names.
Wow.
Because I do talk about everyone and everything. And there are things about my current husband, about my ex-husband, about former bosses. And I say that plural because there are more than one I speak about in this book. And it's really just all sides of me, the good, the bad, things that you've seen on the show with more explanation. And it's not me trying to be like, I want everyone to love me after this book. I would like to be more understood. You read this book, you still don't fuck with me? That's okay. This is all of me in my most raw, vulnerable state. And I'm very proud of it, but I'm also very scared because I am so insanely, openly vulnerable in this book. And there are stories that are in this book that some of my best friends and family don't even know yet.
Wow.
And I'm going to have those conversations before the book comes out because I don't want to blindside anybody with them. But it's scary to put myself completely out there.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about a memoir. Like, I too hope one day I have enough material to write a memoir. But when I think back to some of the stories that I've never ever shared to people who are even closest to me, I get freaked out because I'm like, can I actually put this pen to paper?
Right. And then when I'm writing the dedication and the acknowledgments, I'm like,
thank you, by the way, for me and Kiki in there. I appreciate that. Very cool.
But I'm like, I'm not dedicating this book to my husband and my daughter. Like, I'm talking about my Hollywood hoe days in a chapter of it,
Yeah.
So I'm like, this book is not for my family.
That could have been the Hollywood hoe days.
Dedicated to John Mayer. Yeah.
There's some of that in there. But I'm like, this book is for, the people who have supported me on my journey, who are here for the first time, for those who have scars and scarlet letters, and just to rise above all of it. I'm like, I wrote this book for everyone to just feel like it's okay to put yourself all the way out there. It is okay to be vulnerable. And at the end of it, I write my last acknowledgement for my daughter. And I just say, I hope if you read this one day, I make you proud and I don't embarrass you too much. But I know that when I share my story, it does help people. Mm-hmm. And that's why I know I'm doing the right thing by putting it all out there. But it's scary. It really is, because I'm the most raw in this book that I've ever been in my life.
Well, I'm excited to read it. I know other people are too. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I hope you wait till she's 5 till you let her read it. I don't want her to lie about that. But
it's above her reading level right now.
Did the process of this bring out things that you didn't know you had, that you're like, this is actually something that I could see myself doing another one further down the line?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I now know what I would want to do differently, what we did right, what works, what doesn't work. This whole book process has been challenging. It's been therapeutic. It's been cathartic. It's had me go back in time and try to recant things that I'm like, wait, I forgot that happened to me.
Yeah.
I've been talking to, Shay doesn't know about the book yet, but I've actually been texting with him quite a bit this past week, because as I was going through stuff at my house in Palm Springs and donating things to the fires, I found some stuff of his and I messaged him and I was like, look, I don't know if you want this. And then he responded and we've been going back and forth and we're trying to meet up in person to exchange some stuff he has of mine, some stuff I have of his, and I wanted to tell him about this in person.
Save that for the Valley.
But I'm going to tell him before this podcast comes out on Friday. I'm going to let him know because I don't want him to be blindsided. But there was something that just yesterday I texted him. I go, I have to ask you random questions. Like, do you remember when da-da-da? And he's like, oh, I vividly remember that. I'm like, okay, just making sure like I'm recalling things properly.
Yeah, memory's wild.
Yeah.
Have you reached out to like Heather Gay or anyone else who's written and like gotten advice on like, you know,
I just listened to Heather's second book this past week, which
I didn't really tell a lot of people I was writing a book. Like I only more recently told Lala and Janet and like my closest friends because I didn't want anything or anyone getting in my head being like, well, you shouldn't talk about this. You should talk about this. And are you going to say this? And so I've really been kind of alone in this process. Myself, Mark, my team, and the writer I've been working with. Obviously, my husband knows, but we've kept it really tight-knit because I just wanted to put out my story in my way. And I sent my mom the most recent manuscript, which she read. And I said, any notes? And she goes, you told me I wasn't allowed to give you notes. And I go, well, are there any inaccuracies or something that, you know, I should clear up? And she was like, there was one thing about like an age difference or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, it's not the biggest deal. But she was like, no, it's like, it's really well written. And that, like, that's my approval. You know, if I have my mom's stamp of approval and there's nothing in it that has embarrassed her or hurt her or anything, then I'm like, okay, I've done a good job with this book and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, that's a big one to get the mom approval because I think that would be the scariest one.
Hitting send to my mom was scarier than hitting send to submit the book.
Yeah.
Did it help you process the announcement that Vanderpump Rules was no longer with your cast? Did looking back or having looked back through this process kind of help you deal with those feelings as well?
Yeah, and I talk about that a little bit in the book too, and just being able to, and that's what I love with how current this book is going to be. You know, it's going to be out this summer, but I've been writing it for so long. But because I had a little extra time before the full manuscript had to be turned in, I'm able to talk about the end of the show and what's next. And it's exciting.
And you're doing an audiobook too?
Yes, I will be doing an audiobook, which is another reason that I was so worried this summer when I started losing my voice and I wasn't getting it back. And then the stress of that, because I'm like, the EP is already recorded. It'll come out eventually. The book needed to be announced first before the music, like get people excited about this and then talk shit about the music. But I was like, I have a full audiobook I have to do. I need to get my voice back. And I even talk about things with my voice and the things that I've done to maintain it. You know I'm not the best singer, never try to be, not trying to win a Grammy unless it's with Station Little for the kids' music, which you never know. But No,
I'm so glad you're doing the audiobook because it would be so weird if it was all of a sudden of like, you know, some random guy of like, then Stassi said, I don't know what I did to you, but I'll take a Pinot Grigio. Like, we want you telling your own story, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is going to be the perfect summer on the beach, by the pool book. I love this.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited.
So July 22nd,
yes.
You can pre-order it now, and you want people to go to the website, or is Amazon acceptable, or we want to push people for the website?
So I think they're wanting to push people to the website, mygoodsidebook.com. But yeah, it'll be available on Amazon, Google, wherever you get your books, all of that. And then obviously the audiobook will be available when I do it. I haven't done that yet. But that was another reason why I wanted to get my studio at home done in case I have to do, so I'm sure I'll go into like a studio to do it. But if I'm at home, they're like, oh, actually, we need you to redo this page or whatever. I'm like, okay, now I have a space where I can do that as well. But I think, at least I hope by putting it all out there that people get a better understanding of who I am, why I am the way I am, why I'm a people pleaser, why at times, yes, I guess I can admit I may be a bit of a pick-me, but just, I don't know. But I also hope by sharing my story that I'm sharing stories others can relate to, and it can hopefully help other people open up about things that often have stigma around them that they feel ashamed to speak about, because I'm like, look, I'm putting this all out there for the world. Maybe you can open up in, your small inner circle. And that's my whole goal about putting it out there, is just the people who have the scars, the scarlet letters, the shame, like all of that. Like you don't have to wear that forever. I know Lala has said that, and I really stand by that. I think that the past doesn't have to define your present and your future. It's a part of who you are, but it's not your whole story. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank
congrats.
you very much. And also, I feel like this is taking back my own narrative. You know, this is the first time where, other than this podcast, I'm able to tell my own story in my own words with my own editing and obviously copywriting. But like, it's me. It's everything I want to show you. I stand by every word in this. And that's also very scary because there's like 200 pages that I'm standing by. But, you know, it's like if I can't embrace all of me, then what am I doing? You know, I want Summer to emulate certain things about me. I also want her to do things very differently than I've done. But I'm just like, I don't want her to grow up being afraid to try. And after she may fail at something, which everyone does, to get back up. And that's what this book means to me. And
do we have pictures in the book?
yeah, there will be pictures. Yes. I actually have a bunch of pictures here with me right now. And Mark and I are going to narrow those down today.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like, how do I narrow it down to like 30 or less pictures of my whole life? That's not even one a year, you know? So there will
So if
be
I
photos
looted that
and-
bag
I know,
right
right?
now, I could have another reality show
It'd be like the
museum.
new Paris Hilton
could-
storage
yeah.
locker.
A man with thunder thighs seen running down Melrose very slowly, weirdly enough.
Oh, yeah. I just feel like, you know, to authentically grow and become the woman I want to be, I needed to do this, put it all on the page, stand by it. And it is probably the biggest career bucket list item I've checked off. So
Well, I hope you have a book release party, and I hope we get
I
an
will.
invite
Yeah.
even after those mean texts.
yes.
Yeah. By the way, you were saying like the brilliant thing, like to inspire all your friends to share the hard truth. Do it through this book, not the way Heather Gay does it with text messages. This
Right.
is the way to
Yeah.
do it right here.
Put it in the book.
Yeah, put it in the book.
All right. Well, to wrap up this episode of Scheananigans, obviously we have to do a Jack's Hole of the Week. I figured that you guys would agree it's Elon Musk
Mhm.
for the, you know, it was the, some say the demonstration of a Nazi salute. Others say that he was saying like, my heart goes out to you. What do you think?
It was a Nazi salute, and if I call an Uber and it's a Tesla, I'm canceling it. Every time a Tesla drives by me, I'm just yelling Nazi. I'm over it. I'm over Elon.
It's very frustrating because people are arguing like, no, he's throwing his heart out. Like, guys, Elon Musk knows the history of this country and every other country. He knows what these kind of things mean. I mean, also, I think he likes to create chaos. I think he knows what that moment is. I think he also wants us arguing about these things and being upset. I think, these are all things, but the wave of people rushing to defend, like, no, the people going, no, he's just Asperger's and he's throwing his heart out. Like, that is so unfair to people with Asperger's as well. There's a couple of things that I feel like, can we just agree on? If we can't agree on this, that's what scares me.
And also, I saw a TikTok today. If you truly do believe that that's okay, then I want you to go outside right now and do that salute to everybody who walked down the street and tell me how it's received.
I saw that.
And if you think it's received okay.
Imagine if our Dear Media photo publicizing this show is just all of us doing the Elon Musk Asperger's throwing heart out. Like, that would not be received
Pretty sure
well.
we'd be fired. Canceled. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys both for being here. Very special day for me. I wanted to have you both here as I already tried to do this with you both once before. So thank you. Thank you guys all for listening. Be sure to check out Kiki on Reality Checked, Ryan on So Bad It Is Good.
Thank
So
you.
Bad It's
Thank
Good.
you. Yes.
And head to mygoodsidebook.com right now. Pre-order it. I promise you will be very excited when you read this. You will not be disappointed, and you're gonna love it. So thanks, guys. We will be back next week.
Searching for
Bye.
this all my